Okay.
So really, you only need one of these lines. You could cross out the other one.
Okay.
They mean the same thing. Good question. Okay, so now to find the inverse of a function, we've talked about finding inverses of functions before. Okay, so step one, remember, was to change f of x to y. Okay, so this was one of the very first things we covered. Step two was to swap x and y. Okay, step three, I'm going to write over here, was to solve for y. And in order to solve for y for this particular type of function, you have to switch to or from, depending on what you're doing, an exponential or a logarithm. Okay, so in step three, you'll switch from whatever form you're in to the other form. So if you're in exponential, you'll switch to logarithm. If you're in a logarithm, you'll switch to exponential. And the very last step here was to replace, oops, I can't spell. Replace y with f inverse of x. Okay, so those are the 4 steps. We've already talked about them. And then I'm going to write out some little information. So if you start with an exponent, you end with a logarithm. And if you start with a log, you should end with an exponent. Okay, so depending on the type of function you're working with, you're going to get everything to one side, and then you're either going to exponentiate. That just means turn into an exponential, or convert to a logarithm. There's not really a cool word for converting into a logarithm. Like logarithmize or something like that. There's nothing like that for that one. So we just say convert to a logarithm. But when we turn it into an exponential, then we say exponentiate. Okay, what questions do you guys have before we do any examples? Okay. If there are no questions, we're going to go ahead and do an example. I'm a little nervous that you guys are not asking questions. You guys all should be writing this down, okay, and following along. So make sure you're following along and you understand. Okay, so I'm going to do example 1 for you, and then I'm going to call on people to do example 2. So I need you guys to make sure that you're following along with example 1 so that when I call on you for example 2, you're not totally lost. Okay, so in example 1, we're going to start with step 1, which is to swap or to change our f of x to a y. Equals 4x 2 is to swap x and y. So x equals 2 to the 4y minus 5. What questions do you guys have so far? Okay, step 3 is going to be to solve for y. So we're going to have to switch from this exponential form to logarithmic form. So we're going to switch to a logarithm. Okay, so when we switch to a logarithm, remember we're going to do log. We're going to use the same base as the exponent, so it's log base 2 of our answer equals our exponent, which was 4y minus 5. If all that switching is confusing to you, you can also think of it as taking the logarithm with the same base of each side. So on the left, we took the log base 2 of x. On the right, the logarithm cancels out with the exponent and leaves us just with the exponent of the exponential function. Now we have to solve for y. So the first step to isolating y is to add 5 to both sides. So I'm going to have log base 2 of x plus 5 equals 4y. We need that y totally by itself, so I'm going to divide by 4. I'm going to get that y is equal to log base 2 of x plus 5 all over 4. Step 4 is just to rewrite it with the inverse. I'm going to do it right here. So step 4, and the f inverse of x equals log base 2 of x plus 5 over 4. And that is our final answer. Okay, what questions do you guys have? Okay, if there are no questions, I'm going to start calling on people to help me out with example 2. Okay, Ruby, are you there?
Yeah, hold up. All right.
Okay, so you're going to do step 1. So read step 1 up here and then tell me what to write right here.
So we changed the f. So it's gonna be on y equals 2x plus 3.
Yeah, don't forget your natural log though. All right, perfect. Thank you, Ruby. All right, now, Jamorian, are you there?
Yeah.
All right, so read step 2 and then tell me what I'm going to write for step 2 here.
It's a swap x plus y.
Or that's supposed to be an and. I'm sorry.
X and y.
Yeah. So how do I rewrite it so I swap x and y?
Y equals ln.
So I already have a y here, but I want to swap them, right?
Yeah.
So what should be here instead?
X.
Yeah. Now what?
So s equals ln parentheses 2y parentheses plus 3.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Jamarian. All right, now here's the doozy stuff. All right, so this is the step where we're solving for y. And so what we have to do first is we have to switch to a log, okay? And I'm gonna help you out. Jonathan's not here. So let's see who the lucky winner is. Olivia's not here. Stephanie.
Yeah.
All right, so we're switching to a logarithm. So what's the base of my I'm sorry, we're in logarithmic form, so I need to switch to an exponent. So what's the base of this logarithm right here? Oh, I'm sorry, Stephanie. I'm just messing you up. It is something we have to do before we switch to an exponent. I need to get rid of this thing. How do I move that to the other side? So if it's plus 3, I want to do the opposite. So what's the opposite of that?
You subtract 3.
Yeah, so minus 3 on both sides. I'm going to have x minus 3 equals the natural log of 2y. I'm going to split this step up, so I'll let you go with that one, Stephanie. Thank you. Okay, Amar.
Yes.
Okay, what's the base of this logarithm?
Huh? Can you repeat again?
Yes, what's the base of this logarithm?
Log.
That's what the logarithm is, but what's the base for this?
Switch to x.
Yeah, we are. It's the base of Ln.
Miss, I cannot hear you.
What's the base of Ln?
Yes. 2y.
No.
Uh,
So we talked about this the other day
yeah.
on this sheet. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Read this highlighted part right here.
Square.
Can you read this?
Ln.
What is this? Read the whole sentence, the whole highlighted sentence.
The base of the 10x is L.
Is E.
Is E, yeah.
Those are exclamation points. So it says the base of the natural log, the Ln is E. Okay, so what's the base of my Ln? Amar, what's the base of Ln? We just read it.
Switch.
No, what's the base of Ln? We just read it together. We said the base of the Ln is E. So
E.
what should I write for the base of Ln?
Equals E.
Yes, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we're gonna write this. Our base is E. All right, thank you, Amar. Iban, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, so what's my new exponent gonna be? So we have, let's see. Our base was pink. So the base is silent here. It's the E. Right. Our answer was on the inside. And then the exponent was this thing. So I need to fill in my exponent here. And I need to set it equal to my answer. So what's the blue part? What is my exponent going to be?
The x minus 3.
Good. X minus 3. Ooh, my pen is not happy now. And then what am I going to write for my answer?
It's y.
Perfect. Okay. So we switched to an exponent. So now our last step is to make y by itself. Marquez, are you here?